An unlucky Mark's job is to rinse and clean the packages so they can be sent off for testing and used as evidence. If just one of these packages had burst inside him, the man would have been killed within seconds. At Gatwick Airport, a flight has just landed from Bridgetown in Barbados, a popular transit route for drug smugglers. The body language of one passenger has caught the eye of officers. He's been acting nervously since coming through immigration, so he's pulled over to answer a few questions.
How long does it look the trip?
Trip?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
I planned it about a month ago. I bought the ticket early last week. I'm off to travel.
So did you go from Canada to Barbados?
Yeah, I went from there. But I figured it's better to go there first and go all the way back. It just makes sense.
A quick search of the man's suitcase has revealed nothing suspicious, but his animated and nervous behavior is causing great concern.
So, have you used any cocaine while you've been away?
No, I haven't.
So if we do an X-ray of you, there'll be no cocaine in your system. Then you have no packages.
No packages.
You sure? So you'd have no problem doing an X-ray?
You have to do an X-ray?
Yeah. You got packages of cocaine inside you?
I have no packages.
Are you sure about this?
Sure.
Yeah?
But the man's answers aren't convincing, and he started to sweat noticeably. A swab test of his suitcase is carried out for any traces of drugs. The machine gives an extremely high reading for the presence of cocaine. As the circumstances become even more suspicious, officers escort the man to a private interview room for questioning. Here they hope he may confess to being a drug smuggler.
You can't stop talking. You look as nervous as anything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, go on.
I think you may have drugs inside you, or on your person. Okay?
He's basically done a couple of iron tracks and they've come up quite high. He suspects that it may be internal concealment. So he's just, I think, just arrested him now, and then I dare say, providing we get acceptance from him, that we'll body scan him just to check that he's clear.
Smugglers carrying packages internally often secrete traces of drugs through the sweat in their shoes. A swab test is conducted for any further hits of cocaine. And another very high reading for cocaine causes more concern, giving officers a good reason to put the passenger through a full-body X-ray.
Right.
Is this a consent?
Yeah, because you're taking our X-ray,
Yeah.
we need your consent to say that you'll do it for us.
Well, I'm not going to give you my consent. I think this is a load of crap.
Okay, well what happens then if you don't do the X-ray? You stay with us until you've produced 2 clear bowel movements, however long that may take.
If you don't want to, that's fine. We'll just take you downstairs, get you custodised, put you in a cell in a white suit, and we'll wait there till you've moved your bowels twice to show there's no packages there. Or we can do it now by doing an X-ray. You're cool.
The man's options are limited. They'll find out one way or another whether he swallowed any drugs.
Right, now what you need to do, this conveyor belt's going to move, yeah? You're going to stand on it. You need to stand on it as I'm standing on it, nice and straight, yeah? Arms by his side, nice and still. And breathe out slowly, yeah? Until your lungs are empty and hold.
With the net closing in, officers try to get him to confess.
How many packages you got?
What?
Cocaine inside you?
No.
Huh?
Incredibly, he's still denying it. But the X-ray images confirm their suspicions that he's stuffed with packages. The man is led away to the airport's custody suite.
Let us know immediately if you feel unwell.
Hello.
He kept pleading his innocence, but after a week and a half in custody, he eventually went to the toilet and produced 36 packages of cocaine with a street value of over £30,000. At Gatwick Airport, a lone male passenger has been stopped by officers. He claims to have come to the UK for a family wedding.
Can I just ask you a little bit more about you said you're over here for your sister's wedding? Yeah?
On vacation, but she told me she's getting married, so I will attend at the same time.
All right, so you had initially planned to come over here for a vacation, and then you found out your sister was getting married.
Having looked in the man's suitcase, Officer Sarah chats to colleagues with concerns about the man's possessions.
The clothing, it's all manner of sizes, ranging from medium through to XXL. They're quite new bags. The shoes are not the same size. There's nothing in there that I would expect somebody to wear to a wedding.
Officers working in immigration have already called a phone number the man has provided for his sister.
The sister apparently has made no mention to the immigration officer of the wedding.
With too many holes in the man's story, and with reason to doubt the purpose of his visit to the UK, the man is led away as concerns grow that he may be a drug smuggler.
His demeanour didn't seem right when I was talking to him at the gate. He said that basically his sister has paid half the ticket to come over here and half of the hotel booking fee. However, immigration have spoken to his sister and she said, no, I've not given him any money for the ticket, but I am going to be paying half the hotel fee.
Even though nothing is found during the search, officers still suspect the man may be smuggling drugs inside his body. A swab test is conducted on his shoes. Swallowers will often secrete traces of drugs in the sweat in their feet. And a small trace for the presence of cocaine increases their suspicion.
Okay, we're going to ask him if he'll go through the X-ray.
Oh, okay. The man is taken to the body scanning machine to find out if he's got any packages inside him.
Watch. We'll just ask you to stand on this conveyor belt like this, okay? And then when we push the button, we'll move over towards the wall, okay?
Exhale, hold your breath, don't breathe in, don't breathe in. Okay, carry on breathing now, that's fine. Breathe as normal.
Do you want to follow me?
The results from the X-ray are conclusive.
I think there is something there.
He looks very full up, this guy. Does look very compact in there.
The images on these screens do look like there is some kind of mass there, so it's quite possible that he has got packages inside him.
Sarah breaks the news to the passenger.
Now, I've had a look at the X-ray images in there, okay, and I think that there may be something inside you. I think you may have swallowed possibly some packages of drugs. I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved in the importation of a controlled drug. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The man is put in handcuffs and escorted to the airport's custody suite. Officers have a duty of care to ensure that the packages of drugs pass through him as swiftly and safely as possible.
In due course, he'll be interviewed, and for the duration of his time with us, he'll be monitored 24 hours a day, and he will use a special toilet and pass the packages that he swallowed as nature takes its course.
Since we've been in the custody suite here, Mr. Cross has been into the toilet twice. He's not passed any packages, so he's been put into a white paper suit in the custody suite here in the cell, and then we'll be transporting him up to Heathrow in the prison van.
The man was monitored at Gatwick Airport for a further 3 hours before being taken to Heathrow. He eventually passed 41 packages filled with cocaine. Back at the airport's south terminal, the Dutch drug smuggler who risked his life to bring packages of drugs into the UK is being taken into custody. He's made aware of his rights by the custody officer, and for his own safety is told to get the packages out of his system as quickly as possible.
basically when people have an internal concealment, to make sure we can see if they produce anything, we change them into what we call a white paper suit, and then we can see if there's anything happening. And underneath they'll be completely naked.
The man indicates he needs to go to the toilet, but this is no ordinary toilet trip. And this is no ordinary loo.
So he's gone into the special toilet facility where if he starts producing packages, they then have to be cleaned up by the officer who's gone in with him, and then they'll be bagged up as well. So just waiting for him to come out to see if he has actually produced any.
Yeah, put them on the tins. The gentleman said he needed the toilet, and while I haven't counted them at the moment, it looks like he's produced around 20 packages, and he's told the custody officer he's got 60-something. So obviously the quicker they're out of his system, the best chance he's got of survival, basically.
The process of washing the packages is a very dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
If one of the packages were to split, basically ends up with death within minutes, unfortunately. So that is why we try and get packages out of people as quickly as we possibly can, because the consequences of a burst package are pretty serious.
With the packages washed, Officer Paul must bag them up and weigh them to find out what quantity of drugs the man was carrying.
Definitely big packages. 344 grams of cocaine so far. If you take away a little bit for the packaging, etc., it's probably about 300 grams. 1 kilo nowadays is worth around £50,000. So he's probably carrying about £50,000 worth of drugs with him. These packages here, they're now seized from you, okay? And they're all yours, obviously agreed.
The Dutchman pleaded guilty to smuggling cocaine and was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison. Further inquiries resulted in another arrest. Back at Gatwick, a student passenger from Trinidad and Tobago, who's suspected of swallowing packages of drugs, has agreed to an X-ray of his body.
And breathe out, all the way, and stop. Stand still, stand still, stand still. Okay, you can start breathing again.
The results come back immediately.
And I would say that this gentleman is full of packages.
Caught red-handed, the man looks resigned to his fate.
We've got a swallower in the North Terminal off the Port of Spain. He's just had an X-ray, just confessed to swallowing 60-odd packages, and we'll be bringing him over very shortly.
With potentially lethal packages inside him, the man's safety is now the main concern.
All I would say to you is that the sooner you can get rid of these packages from inside you, the better. It's obviously very dangerous for you to have them inside you. Okay? You all right? Okay. He's asked to go to the toilet, so we shall take him into our special toilet suite. We'll have to sit and watch him, unfortunately, and hopefully he'll start the process of producing packages.
The toilet the man will use is a special facility that will collect any packages he passes so they can be cleaned and kept as evidence. And it doesn't take long for him to start producing the goods.
There is one package there that you've just produced. I have to tell you that is now seized as forfeit. Quite clean, but he's obviously struggling. It's quite a big package. So he now wants to have something to eat and drink to try and force the natural process. Could be up to 5 grams a package if they're all that sort of size. So half a kilo Coke, something like that, inside him.
Half a kilo of cocaine is worth approximately £25,000. It's a sizable discovery for the officers, but a very dangerous pursuit for the man.
We have a duty of care just to keep an eye on him and make sure that if we see anything untoward, we can get there very quickly.
All they can do now is wait for nature to take its course. Across in the Gatwick custody suite, the officer's suspicion about the 2 Eastern Europeans was spot on.
Is that the Ritz?
Hello, yeah, it's Kevin here. I'm in custody suite. We've got 2 smugglers.
Kevin and Mark questioned the suspected smugglers. The men were then x-rayed. Inside their bodies are dozens of packages full of cocaine.
You just take your clothes off, put this on.
Back down here from me.
The men will remain in custody until the packages have passed through their systems and the officers can collect and analyse the evidence. Meanwhile, a Lithuanian translator has been brought in to explain the situation.
Right, because he's got packages inside him, we will put him in a cell in a moment and we're going to turn CCTV cameras on and he will be monitored at all times for his own health and safety. Yeah.
Yeah, until I pass them.
Yeah. Okay, does he want anything to eat or drink at the moment?
No. Yes.
Officers must closely monitor the men and observe when they go to the toilet in case they attempt to swallow the packages again after they've passed through their systems.
Is the other guy in the cell?
Yeah.
Because this guy said he needs the loan.
Right.
So I'm wondering, is there any... Do you have any problem with me taking them?
Not at the moment, but the temperature's having a cup of tea. So
Okay, so we just take it to the special.
Yeah. Okay. There's a special toilet, basically, where it collects any packages when people go to the toilet, basically. So it's a way of collecting the evidence to ensure it doesn't go down, doesn't flush down the loo. Not our favourite job, actually. Yeah. Fortunately, Mark's got the job, not me.
The guy asked to go to the loo. He's been to the loo. We've got a special one that we use for people who swallow drugs. And obviously, if they pass any, we need to collect them up. And yes, he did. So I need to go and sort that out now.
For Officer Mark, this is the first time he's dealt with drug swallowers. Collecting the evidence is not a pleasant experience.
Yeah, let's say you may... Yeah, good. Yeah, okay.
As the toilet is flushed, the Lithuanian swallower's cocaine is washed into a special basin. If just one of these packages had burst inside him, the man would have been killed within seconds.
Yeah, thank you.
An unlucky Mark's job is to rinse and clean the packages so they can be sent off for testing and used as evidence. In all, the men had swallowed 50 packages each with more than 1 kilo of cocaine. They've since pleaded guilty and will now have to swallow a long prison sentence.
He was refusing to eat any food. He refused to drink any drinks that we provided to him unless it was a can of Coke which he could open himself, and that's all he would do. And of course this went on and on.
Without food, it soon became a week without him going to the toilet. But officers had Brady under 24-hour surveillance to ensure none of the vital evidence was missed.
We had to have grounds to keep him in our custody when we had to go in front of the magistrate every 7 days. One of the things we did was to iron scan his suit, and this indicated whether we still may have the cocaine level was actually going up, which it was.
After 3 weeks, and with drugs seeping into his system, they began to fear for Brady's life, but he refused to give in.
It would only take a very small amount to actually kill the person outright, so it's a dangerous thing to do anyway.
After a staggering 48 days of defiance, it was the smell of the custody officer's lunch which finally forced Brady to crack.
After 48 days, I was actually off shift and I was at home, and I had a call from my main manager at Gatwick, who telephoned me to said yes, he's produced. So it was quite an emotional time, and I still feel quite emotional talking about it now, so it was sort of relief.
Consuming his first meal for 7 weeks, the officers wouldn't have to wait long to get their hands on the evidence.
And it just gave in completely, so he must have been absolutely starving, but obviously the body couldn't take it. And I had to sit with him along with my colleagues to recover the remaining packages from his body.
The stubbornness of Brady was beaten only by the determination of the officers at Gatwick.
mean, give him his due, he gave it a good try, didn't he? And he pleaded the only thing he could do best, which was to plead guilty at Croydon Crown Court, where the judge gave him the sentence of 5 years. And that's something I'm proud of, you know, so it was good.